this last 6 weeks or so. What do you think? Kenny was talking about how it helps him to have like a simplified role. How has James's arrival helped Evan find his place in the offense, you think?
I think it takes a lot of pressure off him, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible when I say that. When you have myself, now you have James, you kind of have to pick who's going to, essentially beat you. And he's a guy that is, phenomenal in his half roll. You see, the one thing I loved tonight was his post-ups. He was trying to still get down to the rim as opposed to the fade that we've talked about for years about, right? He's being assertive. But it helps when, you're playing with James, playing with myself, and finding ways to get in the pocket. You get a few easy ones. Now it's like, all right, cool, I'm getting downhill. But he was on it from the jump as far as getting downhill. But James's arrival has helped even more so because, now it's, you have to choose between him and me. And now you have Ev, right? A lot of it there was so much like myself and Ev, obviously with the injuries we had. So I think now that you're adding another dynamic guard, who can pass his butt off, and make Evan's life a little bit easier, you're starting to see him really thrive offensively.
Donovan, at the beginning of this season, you talked about not necessarily getting downhill as much to preserve your body a little bit more.
That time.
So what led to that mindset and play style shift?
Like I said, it's that time of year, right? Like, you play like that for 82 games, y'all probably won't see me in a week or 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to do, you know what I mean? Especially at my size, right? Like, so you got to find ways to adapt. And a lot was asked of me early on in the season, obviously, and, so trying to balance, we were 17 and 16 at one point, right? So still trying to figure that out, but now understanding that, when you have Ev's playing phenomenal, when you have Jalen, when you have Max, you have Sam, you have Galen, you have everybody that we have, it allows me to still be aggressive, and now, you got to stop me from getting downhill. Now the kickouts come, right? Now the double teams come. Now that makes everybody else's life easier. So just trying to be aggressive in any way possible. I don't know how many threes I took, or I don't even think I made one for real, but just being able to try to get down, get to the free throw line, slow the game down, and put a lot of pressure on the defense and go from there.
What do you think that this performance says about the playoff readiness of this group?
We've never wavered, right? I think, no offense to y'all, I think y'all have wavered on us a few times. The new look us, I think, understanding that it's just continue to find it, right? Like we, as talented as the guys we have came in, like as talented as they are, you still have to be able to have that chemistry and have that bond. And I think that takes time. And I think you're starting to see guys' roles identify. You're starting to see, obviously, James, but you're starting to see Dennis, starting to see Key, right? You're starting to see Ev figure himself out. Jay has been phenomenal coming back. Max, Sam, when you have all those deans back, like you have all those guys to choose from. One, I'd hate to be Kenny, having to pick all of us, right? But I think it really helps. Now we're fresh. Now we're finding ways. You have a lot of playoff experience in this locker room. So, like I said, I've always said I'm very confident in this group. And it's not the playoffs yet, but that was a playoff in intensity. Even in Indiana, you still trying to find ways to execute, and understand that it's hard to beat a team by 30 sometimes, and especially when you're experimenting and trying new things. And you got to give credit to the group, but we got to see these guys again on Friday and finish it out on Sunday. So, but I've never wavered. We've never wavered, and just continue to go from there.
Donovan, how the experience you just referenced, how is that going to help you guys go deeper into the playoffs?
Well, it's a mental thing. I've said it the whole year, right? Physically and on paper, you look at us like, man, final team, right? But that doesn't mean anything. We got to go out there and execute it. And, I talked to the guys after the game, and I said, we've had times in years past as a collective where, we get down. Bye, Dean. Great job tonight. You dunked. Appreciate it. Where, sometimes it's wavered. And we were young. Like, we were young. Like, you have the Knicks series, you have the Celtics series, you have last year's Indiana series, whatever and whatnot. And that's part of it. That's part of the, so now we have stuff to kind of fall back on when you blow a 17-point lead and to cut to a 3-point game. How do you respond, right? What do we do? And instead of getting our heads down, we figured it out. But that comes with experience. That comes with dealing with a loss on the national stage. Those are the things, and that's what it's going to be. It's hard to beat a team like that by 20. So that's what you see when you see this experience and being able to be calm, cool, collected throughout.
Donovan, when you
Last
play a team
question.
like this, so close to what could be a potential playoff matchup, how much are you looking to potentially send a message?
I'm just looking to stack wins. Understand that they're a really talented team, well coached. I love Quinn. Quinn's one of my favorite coaches I've ever played for, and understand that. Yeah, we probably I think the odds are us seeing them, right? So, understand that. I think both teams were trying to send a message. I think you could feel it in the arena. I think Friday's going to be the same thing. That's what you want. You want the competitiveness from both sides, and that's what we do this for. And let the chips fall where they may, and then get ready for next week.
Does that explain why you were more animated than usual tonight?
No, I just love the fact that it's April. It's warm outside. I can drive my car at the top down and get ready to play some basketball, watch some baseball. It's my favorite time of year.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.